My main man E. Jones is in the building.
What's up, E?
Yo, y'all make me feel important.
You're important.
You are important. That's right.
I appreciate that.
Yo, E.
What's work? What's good?
Yo, let everybody know who you are right now and get busy, man.
It's hard to go into a whole, long drawn out explanation, but I'll give the simple short form of it. Originally from the Bronx, New York, played high school at St. Ray's and Mount Savior Lutheran, played junior college at Lackawanna, which is in Pennsylvania. I played at a Division I NAI called Urbana University in Ohio. I had a 2-year stint with the Harlem Globetrotters, been with the Harlem Wizards for 22 years, been in basketball as a coach, AAU program director, and just mentor and guardian of the game for, as long as I can remember.
Right. Now, let people know that you have a podcast. It's one of the hottest shows out right now, and it's catering to, I noticed, a lot of high school kids and some college kids, and I think there's a brand new episode that just came out, and I want you to explain that.
Sure, for sure, man. Bottom to the Top Hoop podcast, myself and my partner, Elvis Blunt, a.k.a. Black Elvis. We wanted to make something that was New York centric. So a lot of the times you'll see on my posts and even in conversations that I had with people who care about the game and especially the New York City game is, people talk about New York being down and the game is not the same and coaches and players and what's wrong. And I think it's easy to kind of point out what's going wrong, but I wanted to be a part of somebody or a part of the group offering solutions. Nice. Like taking active steps to be able to highlight some of the people who are doing it right, come up with platforms and initiatives that could bring us back to the prominence that people know us for. So that being said, that's how the podcast spawned. Is it was a way for me to just accentuate a lot of the good things that happen in New York and kind of tell some of the stories that people didn't know or shed light on it or give truth to it or just open it up for conversation so people could just kind of be in the space to say, oh man, well I didn't realize Scott played at this school or I didn't know that tournament started at this place. I'm a historian of the game as well, so I try to, do my research and speak with the knowledge that I have to give insight to people.
No, that's dope, E. That's give that to you, man.
Yeah, so what's the new episode that just came out? Because I think you're dealing with some type of pro basketball or something?
Yeah, so BG, Brian Gardner from LES Express, just did what was called a pro day out in Brooklyn. They did it in Nazareth High School and as well as the Post, the new facility out there in Brooklyn. And basically, there's according to what Brian said, 40% of the international jobs has went away because of the pandemic. Some people are not playing. Some teams are folded. Some players are coming home after a week because of COVID. So, people are just kind of in the dark, like, where can I go? What can I do? How can I be seen? So all that being said, it was a situation where, like myself, Brian took the bull by the horns and said, I'm going to create something. And he kind of connected with agents and teams internationally to be able to say, hey, I'm going to put a group of guys together that you guys need to watch, take notice of, and potentially sign for some of these contracts and jobs that are either open now or going to be open. So he sold the event out. I think the capacity was 60 players. And it was great, man. It was great because guys got looks. And some people who might not get that opportunity that might have played at a small school or doesn't have a resume, you know, you play well as just one of the players that who has a quote unquote name, you know, you can get on from just a good showing.
Right, right. Now, rest in peace to our man that just passed away.
Oh man.
Yo, for real, that's a big one. That's a big one.
Anti-gravity. He was a good guy, man.
No. Tom.
Tom as well.
Tom, and I never knew how to pronounce his last name.
Go ahead, say it.
It's Konchowski.
Right. Now,
we lost Chris Brooks last week.
and we lost also our boy Chris Brooks too.
For sure, man, for sure.
Yeah. But what I wanted to know is, because you've been around for years, you have been next to Tom. And, you know what I'm saying? You are a very knowledgeable brother about this basketball thing. Now,
Right.
if you take this and run and you make a lot of money, I want 10%. Okay?
I got you.
I feel, this is just me, because you've been doing high school events at Gauchos, and it's been
Right.
big time, and big time coaches been coming through.
Uh-huh.
I just feel, E. Jones, I think you need to take over the reins and do your thing in that same type of ballpark. Because I know for a fact you can get kids help.
Man, that's big shoes to fill, and I appreciate you thinking of me in that light. And so I'm gonna speak on a couple of things if I could with regards to that.
Go for it.
I believe, and I'm not certain, that I did the last ever interview with Tom Konchowski that he ever did. So that's on my podcast, and I was blown away with his memory, his knowledge. I mean, you always knew he was like, you know what I mean, the GOAT. But when you're experiencing up close in person for 30 minutes, and just as an aside, he's the nicest dude that you ever want to meet.
Right.
Always a firm handshake, always, you know, look you eye to eye. I never seen him drive, always on the train, but he's everywhere.
Yeah.
And if he knew your name, that was a big deal. So in that interview, I got a chance to see a different side of Tom. He would never talk about basketball first with me. He always would say, hey, how's your family doing? How are you? Like, this genuinely seemed like, you know, when you say to somebody, man, how you doing? And they don't really want to know.
Right.
It's just like kind of an introductory comment or question. He really wanted to know, like, how's your dad? How's your brother? How have you been? Right?
Yeah.
And even in his failing health, and his health had been failing for a couple of years, he was still the same dude, man. He was out at Gaucho Round Ball as early as a couple of months ago, scouting, you know, and he had been battling cancer for the last 2 years. So just with respect to your statement, though, I mean, you're not the first person that said that. And there was a conversation between some people, and I believe Dane Irvin, who's a scout as well, was saying, who's going to be the next voice of New York City? And I'm apprehensive about doing that because there's a lot of responsibility with even just claiming that. But if that role is something that needs to be filled, and I'm capable and I can help, I don't need to be the GOAT. I just want to be of service. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's my take on it.
Right. And I know for a fact, if you do take over that, it's going to be bigger and better. You know what I'm saying? Because of the era and the knowledge that you have, that you learned over all the years, and the wisdom that you're going to give these kids. See, the one thing I know about you is definite. You do not hold your tongue about nothing. You understand what I'm saying? And no, but it's a great thing.
That's not always a good thing, but you're right. That I try to give truth.
Yeah, you listen. You sit here and tell a kid, say, "Yo, I want to go to UConn," and you know the kid can't make a left-hand layup, and he a senior in high school.
Right.
You'll be like, "Son, listen, it's a good dream, but it's not coming true." You could go over here to Lehman and you could play 4 years and get a degree, and you understand?
You know what I've learned? I've learned that you don't necessarily have to give bad information, or not bad information, but you don't have to give bad news. It's better if you just ask a question, right? If you ask a question and you force them to answer, I think they'll come to their own conclusion of what the reality is, right? So if a kid wants to go to UConn and he can't make a left-hand layup, you say, well, what school did you play at?
Right.
And how many points did you average?
Right.
And who did you play against? And who's recruiting you now? So what does that mean? So when you force them to answer the questions, it's not you making a judgment on them, because people take that very personally.
Right.
In life and basketball anyway, when you give a judgment, it's always a defense. When you ask a question, you haven't done anything but ask a question.
Right.
So from an approach standpoint, that's what I've learned just in dealing with people in general. Like it's real, people are just sensitive in general, so you gotta be careful.
Very well said, E.
Yeah, definitely. You're right about that.
Very well said. Very well said.
Thanks, man. What's going on, Butch? That's my guy, yo.
Yo, I love you, brother. I'm super proud of you, man. Like, I'm super
Thank you,
proud
man.
of all of your accomplishments. Like, anybody listening in that don't know, we played with each other, against each other from kids. And I just watched your basketball career just flourish, man. And you just been doing what you want to do, taking care of home, taking care of family. And
Yes, sir.
most importantly, I watch you manage your time, brother. You do what you want with your time and doing what you love with your time, and that is priceless, man. I'm super, super proud of you, brother.
And I'm proud of you too, man. We worked together and communicated and always been in touch. And what you've done with the program and your son and the family, man. And that's one thing about my guys from uptown. I always knew that. I always stood close together.
Nah, no doubt.
Whether it was you, Cup, Dino, Gordy, Theus, your brother Mikey.
Yeah, everybody you just named is texting me right now, clowning me and Kubi on the show. They do it every single week. Every single week, man. We still tight, E. Just to solidify your point, but yeah, I appreciate that, brother.
Yo, man, and the thing about it is, it's like you know how people use that term loosely, like day ones, right?
Yeah.
And that's like, since I've known you guys, man, it's been the same cast of characters, man, holding each other down. So,
yeah, you're right.
Yo, salute to the brothers, man.
Yeah, shout out Mike, shout out Kubi, of course, right here, Gordy, Cup, Wayne, Jay, y'all stupid. Love y'all for life, though. How's your brother, man? How's my man Darryl Jones doing?
Oh, my brother's doing really good, man.
Good. We don't want to talk about him. That's enough information. We're gonna have a whole separate show with D Jones calling in. But I'm glad to hear that he's well, man. Let me pass the mic back to the interviewer, man. Good to hear your voice, brother. Keep pushing, E. You know I'm following, man. Keep pushing, brother.
So, what do you have coming up next? Let the people know what you got coming up next, where they can find you, and all that stuff.
So I actually just posted something today because I want to be able to fill a void, because as you well know, and maybe some people don't know, that the NCAA is giving all the college kids a year back. So that's going to affect JUCO kids, high school seniors, prep school kids. There's potentially thousands of scholarships that's going to be lost because kids are going to come back to school because NCAA ran them another year.
Yep.
So now our kids, New York City kids, are hurt double like is worse because they don't have a season as of yet, right? And then on top of that, every other state besides most other states besides us and Illinois, specifically Chicago, are not playing right now. So I want to see what people want to see with regards to some kind of showcase that kids who don't have a season or get their season cut short, that we could put together in a major way to get them potentially recruited and get scholarships and fill that void of what a high school season would have given them. So BCOM TV on YouTube and BCOMTV.com. And, still doing the Six Legends gear, Harlem Wizards, working on something that I can't speak too much of, but, a facility situation may be opening up.
Uh-oh.
For me to, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
It's over now. It's over now. It's going to be all the big-time ball players in there, baby.
Well, listen, man, we want to develop, and we want to get the right people with the right people. So I'm going to just make one statement, man, and I don't want to take up too much of you brothers' time. A lot of people talk about the kids, right? And they talk about the talent being down and the parks is not filled and kids don't want to work on their games. And there's a responsibility there. But I believe now that the game is so spread out in New York City. There's so many teams, and there's a lot of probably unqualified people teaching, coaching, and mentoring kids.
Oh, boy.
So a lot of what the kids learn come from the people who they learn it from. So just like the saying when they say you have kids having kids, so you don't know how to be a father at 16. So if somebody's never really played ball or didn't study the game at a high level or learn under somebody who really knew how to coach, the qualification of being a coach or an AAU coach nowadays is kind of like, well, I got enough money, my kid wants to play. Like, there's no certification process. It's just a wild, wild west. Yep. So you oftentimes see that people who haven't been in the trenches, don't know what it takes, can't train, can't coach, are just, starting these pop-up situations. And unfortunately, the one that's getting the short end of the stick are the kids because they're getting an unrealistic view of what, coaching, teaching, accountability, responsibility really looks like.
So,
Right. Nice.
Yeah, super dope.
So, Eve Jones, let them know where they can find you at, where they want to ask you any questions.
Yo, man, I mean, you can go to my website, IamEricJones.com. You can find me on CityLegends.com, Eric Jones 1481 on Instagram. Man, check me out, man. I'm here for service. You know what I mean? I want to help the greater good of the game and just young people in general. And if I can help, I want to be the conduit to be able to take the game from where it is to where it could potentially go. And if I could be a part of that, then, my time here spent is well worth it. You know what I mean?
No doubt. No doubt. And everybody, I want y'all to make sure y'all follow that bottom to the top on that YouTube. And also, what's that TV channel?
Bottom to the Top Hoops.
Bottom to the Top Hoops on YouTube. And
BCOM TV.
There you go. Yo, listen, follow that, watch that. I'm telling you, it's real good content. Every time it pops up on my joint, on my phone, I'm sitting there watching it. I'm putting that time in to watch it and understand what's going on with my man E. Jones and Black Elvis.
All right. Shout out to him.
I appreciate y'all support, man.
You got it, baby. Thanks for being on the Refuse to Lose show. Hopefully we'll be able to get a face-to-face interview and live on the radio at a location of yours at an event. So,
Let's do it, brother. I appreciate y'all having me on, man. Continued success. I love y'all both, man. We'll talk soon.
All right, love you too, brother.
Back at you, E. Back at you, brother. Talk soon, man.
All right.
Eric Jones, y'all.
You gon' ride with us, you ready or what? You gon' ride with us, you ready or what? You gon' ride with us, you ready or what?